Shrek 2, made in the year 2004, is regarded as one of the best kids movies of all time and of the thousands. This is clearly the best Shrek movie within the Shrek franchise, and this movie stars the likes of Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz reprising their roles from the first movie. This movie takes us on a fresh journey as this film takes place after the aftermath of the first movie, where we see Shrek and Fiona have just got married. However, after the couple have just come back from their honeymoon, they are greeted with an invitation to a dinner with Fiona's parents in the land far, far away. Upon the arrival, the couple are met with dirty looks and animosity from Fiona's parents, as they believe she married the wrong man and isn't in their image of a knight in shining armour. However, with frailties between the couple and her parents beginning to show, will Shrek be replaced by a new prince in which her parents approve of? What I liked about this movie is the brilliant story, as it's clearly one of the best written stories of the thousands. As the whole premises of this story is that Fiona's parents disapprove of Shrek as he is an ogre, and that they had expected him to have married a handsome prince. So after Harold and Lillian, the king and queen, meet Shrek, Harold devises a plan to eliminate Shrek so a new prince could take his place, also known as Prince Charming. Furthermore, Shrek feels he is letting Fiona slip through his fingers and devises a plan to find a potion to change him human so that he can not only get Fiona upon his side but also his in-laws. However, with the arrival of Puss in Boots and the fairy godmother, he is in very deep shit, as this spells trouble for Shrek and the gang, as they are part of Harold's plan to get Prince Charming to marry Fiona. However, Shrek is determined to win back Fiona's love no matter what it takes, and that means turning himself and Fiona from ogres to normal people. And with hours ticking by, he must get to Fiona to embark on the true love's kiss. In the end, Shrek's love for Fiona overpowers the fairy godmother and Prince Charming, as he is able to get back Fiona's love with the true love's first kissing, which helps captivate those two back into ogres. Hence why I love this movie, as it's so romantic, so comedic, and has a bit of everything within this movie. And that's why I used to love it as a kid and was one of the best kids movies in the thousands. I also like the actors and actresses, as there was such a variety of actors and actresses within this movie, and it never felt too overcrowded with the amount of big roles and big actors and actresses within this movie. As there were such stars as Mike Myers, who portrayed Shrek, Eddie Murphy that portrayed Donkey, Cameron Diaz that portrayed Princess Fiona, John Cleese that portrayed King Harold, Julie Andrews that played Queen Lillian, Antonio Banderas that played Puss in Boots. Then you've got the likes of Jennifer Saunders, who played Fairy Godmother, and finally Rupert Everett, who played Prince Charming. This never felt too overcrowded, and the actors and actresses were absolutely fantastic and amazing in the movie, and they helped captivate the movie from being an okay story and an okay basis to being one of the greatest kids movies of the past decade or the past 2 decades or whatever it was since that movie. The two that I want to talk about though, in terms of actors and actresses, are Antonio Banderas and Jennifer Saunders. Let's start with Antonio Banderas though. I thought he was amazing in this role, as he brought the cool calmness, the Puss in Boots that I really liked and enjoyed. And I felt that he helped captivate the Shrek franchise to a whole new level, just him alone, as he was brilliant in this movie, even though he shows more in other movies later down the line. But it was in this movie where he got his Shrek debut, if you would. And I thought he played it really well. He was quite charming, cute at times, and he added to the characters that were already there and was able to bounce off the likes of Donkey and Shrek quite well. And he is now quite famous as being one of Shrek's main allies, in which helps in the rest of the franchise. The second person I want to talk about is Jennifer Saunders, as she was also absolutely amazing in this movie, as she played the antagonist of Fairy Godmother, who was quite evil, quite wicked, and she brought all this together to put into this character. And I thought she was one of the best villains in any kids movie, as she portrayed everything needed to be that evilness, and she had that iconic voice for that antagonist, and she will never be forgotten in this role. And I don't think that role could have been portrayed by anybody else, especially the lead antagonist, in which she played spectacularly. Finally then, I would say the main positive of this movie is the soundtrack, as the soundtrack can make a banging film onto a whole new level, as you can get so far with the actual movie, like get it to a world-class level, but the best and the legendary movies like this one use soundtracks to help captivate their like action scenes, their big moments. And that's why when you think of this movie, you think of Mungo Drowning, and you think of the likes of the songs they use, likes of Holding Out for a Hero, which was used in that very moment. And that's what comes to my mind. So every time I think of Holding Out for a Hero, I go, Mungo Drowning. And that's what you want. And then you go like, oh, I might go and watch Shrek 2 now, because I'm thinking of that moment. And there's several moments like that as well. And there's several other songs used, likes of Living Da Vida Loca, Changes by David Bowie, Accidentally in Love, and Funky Town, in which I believe these songs had a huge impact in how the film actually was portrayed and was actually used, as these songs help to remember certain scenes like I mentioned. And that when you put a memorable tune in there, it don't only just excite the actual film, it adds to the movie. And every movie with a banging soundtrack is normally a pretty decent movie as well. And I can't name one where the soundtrack actually makes a film worse, and this one captivates it to the out of this atmosphere sort of thing. And that's what I loved about this, and I believe that the soundtrack, this movie wouldn't have held as high as regard to this day without the soundtrack being as it was. To summarise this movie, I believe this is one of the best kids films of the thousands, hence why I've rated this movie a 9.1 out of 10, as it is such a legendary movie. So if you agree with anything or disagree with anything I've said, get in the comments down below and let me know what your opinions are of this movie. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, like that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.